All right, so this is Foundations Math 10. This is 1.3, number 11. So this one looks confusing because we have price per yard and price per meter. So it looks maybe a little more confusing than it actually is. Because these are in different units, it's tough to tell which is the better price. If you looked at this price and just said, hey, it's 89 cents per yard, 89 cents is less than 93, so that's a better deal. Well, you don't know that for sure because yards are a little smaller than meters, right? So you're paying less for something that's smaller. So how do you know if that's really a better deal or not? So what you have to do is you have to convert either yards into meters so that they're the same unit and you can compare the price directly, or meters into yards, okay? So for example, let's say I'm going to write down $0.89, that's 89 cents, for 1 yard, okay, per 1 yard. Well, that is actually $0.89 for how many meters? What's the connection between yards and meters? Like, how many meters are in 1 yard? Okay, so a meter, 1 yard is how many meters? Careful. Meters are bigger, right? Okay, so it's the 0.9 one, isn't it, right? Was it 0.9 what? 0.91? Okay, from your formula sheet there? 0.914? Okay, now pause for a second. Does everyone see how this price for 1 yard would mean the same price for this many meters, because that's the connection between yards and meters? Everyone see that? So 1 yard is actually 0.914 meters. All right, now how does that help us? Well, if you actually were to get your calculator out and now divide these two numbers, then you have the price per 1 meter. So I'll get my calculator up here. So if I do this and turn this on, let's get rid of the calculus from last class. So 0.89 divided by, and that's actually for 0.914 meters, that gives me this number, 0.9737, or round it to 0.97 cents or dollars. So 0.97, that's per 1 meter now. You see, it was 89 cents per 0.9 meters. That means it's 97 cents per 1 meter. So when you do the division on your calculator, you can get it to this unit rate. So now you compare this given, see, 93 cents per meter, and this is 97 cents per meter. So which one's the better deal? This one's the better deal, because we've compared them with the same units, and this number is smaller. So it's not a good idea to always go with the smaller price, because this is a much smaller thing. Now you could do the same thing by converting both to yards, and I'll maybe do that one for you too. Okay, so let's say you said, I want to know what the price is for this one in yards. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. We'll do $0.93 per 1 meter. Well, actually, I want to know what that $0.39 is in yards. So 1 meter is how many yards? So it's 1.09 yards. Okay. So if I do this, then I get my calculator out and I actually do this division so I can get it per 1 yard. And so that would be 0.93 divided by 1.09, which gives us 85 cents. Okay. So this is 85 cents per 1 yard. So if I compare this one to this one, which is now this, which is the lower number, 89 or 85? 85 is, which is the same as this one, is this deal. Okay, so the clue is to get them to the same units by just filling in these values. Here's the connection between meters and yards. Just do this division, and now you've got a unitary rate. A unitary rate is always per 1 of something. That's what a unitary rate is. This is per 1 yard up here. This is per 1 meter. So you want to convert this to per 1 yard and compare the prices. Okay, so the better deal is the fabric warehouse, not the fabric store. Use mental math and estimation to justify that the answer is reasonable. Well, as I mentioned, meters are bigger than yards, so you expect to pay a little bit more, but how much more? Estimation, so 89 cents, that's only 4 cents difference, right? So that's 4% of a dollar, right? And is a meter more than 4% larger than a yard? I guess it is. So don't worry about B so much. You might not be able to do that so much, as long as you can do the calculations. Okay? Does that help out with 11? Everybody understand that now better? Yeah. Hopefully. Okay, what about number 10? I also had a question about number 10. Does anybody want to see number 10?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me just get number 10 up here real quick. So this one, the wording is difficult, so let's read it carefully. Elise tests the accuracy of her car's odometer. The odometer is what tells you how many miles or kilometers that your vehicle has traveled. That's the odometer. She tracks the distance she drove from this sign right here that says Helena 87, which is in miles. Okay, this is in miles. And if you didn't know that, Helena is in the US, it's in Montana, and they always work in miles, not kilometers. We do kilometers in Canada, they do miles in the States. So her odometer showed that this distance in miles was equal to 142 kilometers. So the question is this 87 miles equal to 142 kilometers? That's the big fat question right there. So we have to do a conversion. We have to either convert 87 miles into kilometers and compare, or we have to convert the kilometers into miles and compare those ones. Either one is fine. So let's see. Let's do miles to kilometers. 87 miles. I want to turn this into kilometers, so I'm going to put miles here and kilometers here. Now, this will work if I know what the connection is between miles and kilometers. Do I know the conversion between miles and kilometers? I think we do, right? 1 kilometer is how many miles? 0.62. That should be on your formula sheet, right? Okay, so there you go. Now, look at miles are going to be cancel out. And this tells me that I have to do 87 times 1 divided by 0.62, or 87 divided by 0.62. So 87 divided by 0.62 is going to be 87 divided by 0.62. That's going to be 140.3. 140.3, and that's going to be in kilometers. Okay, so is 87 miles exactly equal to 142? No. It's equal to 140. Now, I don't know, to be honest, in the back of the book for your textbook, if they use this exact number that we're using in class with our formula sheet, I don't know. So they may have a different answer than this, but you should get 140, and you should see that it's different than 142. Okay? So your answer to this, using this number right here, would be that no, her odometer is not accurate. It's actually 140.3 kilometers. And so the car is showing that it's driving more than it is. It's not quite accurate.
So even if it's like off by a little bit, it's not accurate?
I mean, yeah, this might be rounded. So if you round this would be 140, right? So if you round it to the nearest kilometer, it's still off. If it's like, if this was 142.3, then you could just say, you know what, it's close to being accurate, but according to my calculations, it's not exactly the same. So, but this one is far enough away that you can say, yeah, no, it's not accurate at all. Good question though, like how close is super close, right? Yeah, that's okay. If it says round to the nearest kilometer, then you would know. But if it doesn't say that, just show your work and I'll see that. Okay, that help? Okay, good. Anybody else have any questions right now, or you guys can keep going? There's number 10 and number 11 from 1.3. Cool.